Hey, heads up. We talk about serious, sometimes uncomfortable shit on this podcast. But don't worry, hopefully you're gonna laugh your ass off.
Coping chaos.
Thanks for joining us for Coping Chaos, a podcast about coping with the chaos of daily life while also navigating the uncertainties of mental illness. I'm Leah Williams.
And I'm KJ Servey. We're not medical professionals in any way, but we like to say we're not experts, but experts in our own mental health. And we want to have a conversation with anyone who's been affected by mental illness in any way.
All right. Awesome. I know that last week's topic and this week's topic go very close hand in hand.
Yep.
I know we were just talking, there might be a tiny bit of repetition because today we are talking about anxiety.
Anxiety.
Bum, bum, bum. Insert mood music here.
The ruler of my life.
But yeah, the constant static ambiance of anxiety in everything we do.
Everything.
It's like having mood music, but it's severe anxiety that pulls you down constantly, just playing as you're trying to live life normally.
Yeah. And so according to Mayo Clinic, anxiety is defined as intense, excessive, and persistent worry or fear about everyday situations that is often out of proportion to the actual danger.
Exactly. That's a big part.
Just every day.
Yes. I know we're going to start with a story, and I feel like my story actually goes perfectly with the out of proportion of actual danger type of thing. Ryan and I recently got to go on a date, which never happens. We went to the casino, which is great. And, you know, most people, you walk in the casino and you feel the thrill of the lights and the people. You know, you just feel great. I walked in and thought, I don't know casino etiquette. Like, where do you stand in line? Where do you do? You know, like, there's just so many things that, like, we hadn't gone to the casino since I was a baby. So it's been a long time since we'd gone. And even then, like, they gave you free drinks of alcohol back then, you know, and things like that. But they bring it to you and stuff. So I didn't know what to think or what to do. And then I see it's all different now. They don't give out free alcohol anymore. It's now free soda, you know, and you can get it from, like, there's 2 strategic places in the whole place you can go to get it. But there's always a line. But there's also, like, lines everywhere. Like, lines where I couldn't even tell what the line was for. But you have to cut through the lines to walk where you're going. And so I'm feeling anxious, like, can I cut through this line? Am I going to make someone mad for cutting through the line? I don't know. There's just constant anxiety about everything. And I'm sitting here like, I'm here to enjoy myself. And all I can think about is what I'm doing wrong. Am I doing this wrong? Or somebody will be blocking the way I'm trying to go. And then I'll feel awkward because I'm like, which way do I go? Or somebody will be walking at me and I'll be walking towards them. And I'm like, do I go to the left or do I go to the right? Are they going to do the same thing? Like, it's just, and I'm like, Leah, you're supposed to be enjoying yourself right now. But,
well, I've been to that casino and I've only been once and I was with coworkers and it was weird. I didn't know we were like in, you know, watching a big game, like the saw it, but it was like a video thing. Anyways, it was a giant screen. And we're all crowded. And it's like, well, when can I go? Is it my turn now or who? Because it's not a line, like you said.
Yeah, like, exactly.
It's all confusing.
Well, and I also heard somebody was like yelling at somebody else because they had walked away from the machine for only a second and somebody else had sat in it, which you can't really do that, I guess. You have to put a reserved or something if you're walking away or something like that. I don't even still know what the etiquette for that is, but I know that I was so scared every time I sat down. Like, am I sitting in one somebody just got up from and they're mad that, you know? But because some people will leave like the change, like if there's 50, you know, not enough to do another spin, but they aren't going to put any more money in any machines and they're leaving, they'll just leave the change in the machine. Yeah. So there has been once or twice where I sat in a machine and there was change on it and I thought they're going to come back at any second, you know, or whatever. But
well, that's their problem.
Yeah, exactly, right? I need to tell myself that for real.
No, I say that now, but
yes, exactly. I would always say it afterwards. Yeah. But how about for yourself?
Well, again, anxiety is every second of every day.
Yes.
And one of the big ones is being protective of my kids. Like everything, you know.
Yeah.
Now it's mostly Sophie, but even like when Zayden moved out, it was like she was riding her bike to work and riding it home at like midnight and not wearing a helmet because she refused. And I was like, can I give you reflective stuff? No, and like, can I put a light on there? She let me give her a light, and she let me put reflectors in the wheels.
Oh.
But it was, and she was like, I can do it. I'm going through these parks. I'm like, don't go through the park.
All that stuff happens in the park, in the woods and in the park. Yeah. That's the two places you don't want to go alone.
And my kids are always like, and I say this all the time, they're like, oh, you just watch too much true crime. And then,
I hear that too, but I'm like, you know what? I'd rather be safe. And that's why they call it true. Yeah, exactly. It's not false crime.
Right.
It's not over-exaggerated crime. It's true crime. So
I'm very protective of my kids, and Sophie's the one here right now, and she's 18 and she's autistic, and I'm like so scared of everything happening to her. Like, any new situation, how are people gonna see her? Are they gonna make fun of her? Are they gonna beat her up? Or is she overconfident? Sometimes, like when she's gonna go sing in front, I'm like, oh no, does she really know the song? Is she gonna embarrass herself? I don't, because she's just sometimes overconfident. I know what I'm doing. Most of the time she's been fine, it's when she was younger, but she does get like, oh, I can do that. And so I get scared that she'll fail, which, people do, but it's different for her, and so I'm very anxious, every single situation will go through my head. Also, she talks all the time, and we live in a bubble. So, she's autistic, but she's also transgender. And so we live in a bubble where it's fine to talk about all that.
Yeah. She's quite comfortable speaking about those things because it's comfortable in your house. You have a safe space.
I got her permission to say that fact. And she's always wanting to be an advocate. So she's fine with that. But I get, that's another thing. The autism and the transgender together. I mean, they both are anxiety inducing, but
yes, exactly.
She will talk about it, and then we're like, oh, we're at Walmart. We don't know what people believe and who likes it and who hates it. I don't want someone to follow you.
And it always seems that the people who are against it are like aggressively against it. It's not like, oh, I just disagree with it and it's not a big deal. No. They're like, you shouldn't do this and you should, like they just go on
pulling
spiels.
People out of bathrooms. Yeah. And that's what I say. Oh my God. Bathrooms, like we've been doing little trips, and bathrooms around here, it's still nerve-wracking because it's a thing, but like we go, through Iowa and we're in a gas station and I'm
it's
like,
scary.
Oh, I'm just standing there, and other people will be like, oh, that's over, exaggeration or, overcompensating. And I'm like, no, because people get dragged out of bathrooms.
Exactly. And, people don't know how to mind their business, especially the most aggressive, mean people. They just, if they're uncomfortable with it, they want to let you know all about it and why. And it's just like, what?
So again, I have anxiety about everything, but this is a huge one. Like, especially, both kids, it's like one is out of the house. Are they going to get hurt? Are they, and I talked about on another episode when someone was hit and killed, and I was like, oh my God, could that be Zayden? Because I don't know.
So close to where she is. Yeah, exactly.
So, so it's always everything. And I just try to, and when you have anxiety, you're trying to imagine every outcome or, and so it's like, you make yourself sad, even though that thing didn't happen.
Yes, yes.
Like, oh my God, that could happen to my kid.
So scared that you're feeling emotional about it. Exactly.
Yeah. So that's a hard one, and like I said, we're in a bubble. Like I'm queer. We have lots of queer family. We have friends that are trans. It's like we've built this community after being here for 14 years
to be comfortable.
Yeah, and Sophie's been her true self longer than she hasn't. So that's been really cool because she was 8 when she came out. And so it's been really, really good and positive when we're in our thing. But I just get so anxious. And I'm lucky for like adults like you who will just listen to her like vomit everything.
I don't mind. Well, to me, everything she talks about is so interesting because she has very similar interests to me. So it's quite easy for me. It's no issue. But my son is very similar. So it's actually fun to see them. Yeah. It's so similar, but he's so much younger. But
Yep. Well, anxiety's everywhere. And I really feel everything physically. I think you do too.
Oh, yeah. A lot of times the physical will helped me realize that I'm even having anxiety because I have or really bad. I always have anxiety. So it's like it's always there.
Like
but like when
attack
it's really bad and it's getting to the point where I might have a meltdown like our last episode was.
Yeah.
Or even that it might affect me negatively. Because like I said, there's a spectrum for everything, and I feel like there's a spectrum for anxiety as well. Yeah. And I really feel like on some days, even though I always have it, it's lessened some days, heightened some days, and a lot of it has to do with the outside factors and variables of what's going on in life too. So, which is why I feel like those two go so well together because it's really a lot of it is my anxiety first and then my meltdown. So
yeah, exactly. And I put like my physical manifestation.
Yeah, say that 10 times fast.
And then there's all kinds of things. It doesn't all happen every time, but sweating is like number one. Sweating is like, like I said, or IBS or pain or, but like anytime
it's always like my lower back.
Yeah.
Sweating.
Oh, my
or my pits.
Man.
Yeah. My pits and my lower back. Yeah. Or my hands sometimes.
Oh, I'll have it down my neck. Yeah. But like, it's just instant. And it's like, even if I just have to talk to someone I'm nervous about, or like at a work meeting is it funny or is it?
I can't even hear it.
Oh, you
I'm
can't
deaf,
hear?
so.
It's like screeching, but I literally can't tell. You want to poke out?
Yeah.
Chaos while recording.
No screaming. Okay.
All right. Well, can you
were
remember where you were? We had a little moment where there was chaos with kids upstairs.
Yeah,
but
child chaos. That's normal. We just have to make sure the screams are good screams and not bad ones.
I could not tell. And Leia's deaf, so
I couldn't even hear it.
I'm like, either Scott's being tortured or he's having a great time.
And it could be either way with Saya, so you never know. Oh my gosh.
Okay, where were you?
Physical manifestations of anxiety.
Oh, yeah. Well, I was talking about sweating.
Yes, we were talking about armpits, so we're back there.
I'm sure you guys wanted to know.
Yes, we're back to that again.
But yeah, that's one of my first things, and then the heart rate and the breathing.
And like dizziness.
Yes.
I'll feel dizziness. And then like when you were saying before with the meltdowns, that tunnel vision, I start feeling that
too.
as well. Like just because I can't concentrate, or I find myself questioning everything I'm doing more than I normally do, because I do that anyways, but now it's like everything. And then the pacing, like I said, I'll pace back and forth.
I put the same things, the muffled hearing, chest tightening, and it is because it's like you're leading from this, and not every time you go to a meltdown, but like if it's just too overwhelming and you're like feeling the weight on you, and that's another thing. Like it physically feels like there's a weight. I physically feel my heart being like tightened, like someone's holding onto it.
Yes.
And my stomach, it's just
exactly. In fact, I was going to say, sorry, I attribute it kind of like when you almost get in an accident on the road. That feeling that you get like right when you almost get in an accident and it's right afterwards. Your heart's racing and your stomach's clenching. But it's like that all day long. Yes. So like, because it's scary when you almost get in an, especially if it's one where you knew like that was really close. I could have really been hurt, and it starts setting in afterwards. That's the feeling that I feel like in a way can kind of contribute to, so everybody can understand. Like kind of.
Well, I get that. It's weird. Like I'll all of a sudden think I forgot something, or the kid. Like I'm like, why aren't they in the back? Like, and I'll have that like overreaction. Like I'll feel like I almost got in an accident when it's just a little thing and looks like it's okay. But I'm like, oh my god, that could have happened. And
But yeah, that's what I always think, because like that's kind of how I feel. Is like if I was going to get in an accident in a car and I almost did, that's that feeling that I get that all the time. But like sometimes times 10, even worse.
Yeah. So. It's I think I put like a future episode. They call it like somatic. I don't know. That's your body feeling things. As you're, with anything but your mental health. So I think that's something my therapist wants me to do. So if I do something like that, I think it'll be really interesting to share.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I feel everything in my body. Like I do exposure therapy, and you have to like sit with something, and you're at a number level of stress, and then you need to see how long it takes you to get down to a lower.
Oh, yeah.
You don't have to get all the way down until, like, you've done it a long time. But I know, like, I know I'm still a 3 if my heart feels like this when I think about it. Or, okay, it's a 2 because I kind of feel this. And, okay, it's not a 0, but it's a 1 because it's still like, oh, I don't like it, but nothing's happening in my body. Like, and not everybody's like that. They're like, oh, I'm external things, like I'm crying. And when I'm doing my exposure therapy, it's not like that for me. It's I can just tell inside my body what's happening.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and I think that's one of, like, when we had talked about some of the positives of mental illness, we were saying how we've learned to read ourselves so much better. And know ourselves and our reactions so much better through all of this, so that we can predict those things. And not successfully always, but
no, of course,
for the most part. So.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's talking about on our list here, changes in natural behavior or actions. So, yeah, what are you thinking about that?
Well, I was going through it looking like the doom scrolling, and I don't always doom scroll.
Right.
I try not to because
I don't.
But as soon as I do it, I stop doing as much as I was doing before.
Okay,
I find it even harder to clean the dishes and do other things. It's like I'm still there, still scrolling when I know it's negatively affecting me, because it's like I feel sad of hearing about. It's like I want to hear about the world and what's going on, but then I doom scroll to the point where it's like turning into they're just showing me what I've already been looking at,
right?
Harder core, worse and worse and worse, and I'm feeling guilty and sad.
And sometimes with me, it's like, oh my God, I need to research more about this, and it's hyper focusing on this really horrible thing.
And I feel like, oh, I should be doing something about this. I should be, even though. What can I do? I'm still working on myself. I'm still working on just being present every single day and not having a meltdown. So I expect too much of myself, another thing. But I feel like the more anxiety I have, the more it affects everything that's going on. And it makes it so that I don't act in the same way that I do. But like I said, I always feel anxiety, but I feel like it's always like this lower levels, it's like this basic anxiety that I always feel. But then in certain situations, it heightens. And then if it's already heightened a little bit, each new situation is going to heighten it a little bit more, a little bit more.
And it's a roller coaster every minute. We've talked about that recently. It's like minute to minute.
It's unpredictable. You just can't know. And that's why when people talk about mood swings, I'm like, I am the swingiest of the swingy. I am a mood swing expert when it comes to mood swings, because that's all my moods do all day is just swing back and forth to the point where I am like getting whiplash, you know? So,
well, I kind of wrote about isolation. I think I've mentioned that lots of times.
Yeah.
I just start, and I've been really good. I've been forcing myself to stay on the main level, and not go upstairs, because then I'll stay. But like I said, this last week, I spent a lot of time in bed.
Yeah, I did too.
I got to push myself, hopefully, this week and get myself out of it. I think this is
helping. That's helping me too. Actually, got me out of the house over here. Yes, exactly.
So, and I did also say, you had mentioned like smoking. And so I had put self-medicating, like with whiskey. Like, I have no addiction issues, thank God.
Yeah, that's lucky.
I have so many family,
because I feel like I am addicted to smoking at this point. Like, even though I do use it to help me, and it does help, I still feel like there's times where I don't need to smoke it, and I will, because I feel like the need to do it.
Right. Yeah, and so I can go months, years without drinking, but now it's occasional. But like, I get a glass of whiskey, get a darker, like mood lighting in the living room, listen to music.
Oh, that's nice.
That, I'm self-medicating, but also it's a coping, but I'm not overusing it. So I am very aware, like if I do it a couple times a days in a row, and I only have one or two, like I never get drunk anymore. I never want to ever get drunk anymore.
It's not fun anymore.
But I like to just, and I have a higher tolerance. It's funny because Lucas has a lower tolerance.
I would say mine is so bad. I have such a low tolerance.
So one, for him, he's like, woo, and I don't even really feel the nice, like, calm until, like, I start the second one.
Yeah.
Just, I like just the warm in my cheeks.
Yeah,
that's all I need, But yeah, so it can be a thin line, and I feel like, it could change too far. We're talking about changing in our behavior, but I think for me, it could also, like your marijuana, it's like you don't want it to become too bad, but it also is something that really helps. So I don't do it very often, but yeah, if I do it once a week or once every 2 weeks, like I'm totally cool with it.
Yeah,
but,
exactly.
You know. But again, I'm aware, like you're aware, you know, we're trying to make sure we
it's like
keep track on it.
But with anxiety, you can't help but do that because we're always worried. Am I doing too much? Am I taking too much? You know, I don't want to get addicted to this, you know. So I feel like in a way anxiety helps us with that part, but
Well, and I was thinking when I was writing this, like we talked about last episode, like short and snappy, like my anxiety.
I hate it when I do that too, and it's always the people I love.
Yeah,
it's always the people I care about the most that I'm like wanting to hurt, not wanting to hurt, but just in that moment hurting them.
Right, and that's what's so hard is because I'm not like that normally, and so it goes out of proportion, you know, you're out of character, and so that's what's so hard is like I don't want to do this. That's not me. I've never in my life been a snappy person,
right?
Yeah, you know? And so that's hard. And so when it probably could have been in the physical manifestations, but when I was picturing and writing this stuff, I told you I wasn't going to tell you till the podcast. The Jonah Hill meme where he's going, I don't know, he's going like this. I don't know.
I'd have to see it, I think.
But that's how I even do my hands up to my head, if you guys all know.
and then just
like,
I can't handle this anymore.
Yeah, I'll have to show you. But
I do have to see.
I'm sure you've seen it.
Yeah, I'm sure I have.
But that's how it feels to me. And I'm just like, anything, no,
Yeah, that's exactly it. Exactly it. And like you had written here, did you already say that? The acting normal while your mind is running laps? Because like, that's a big thing. Because like, I feel like when you're trying hard not to show the changes, you know, that's one of the biggest things because
100%.
You know that you're showing these changes when you do these things. So you're actually consciously trying not to do that. And while doing that, it's actually causing even more anxiety than the fear that my anxiety is going to be noticed by somebody or whatever. So
and that's what I put too, like hiding, enjoying normal activities. It's like, I'm a mom. I got to go do this.
Yeah.
And, you know, I'm working. That's me. I don't know how I work. You know, we talk about that and you're like, I can't, you know, I do. I don't know I'm just a stubborn ass and I just do it. But it's like every moment of every day, I'm just like, you know, but no one sees. Well, there's a couple people I'll at least say, I don't know how I'm able to work. But that's what I put there. I just don't know because everything is going on. Everything freaks me out. Hey, I want to talk to you. Oh my God, they're going to fire me. You know?
Yes, exactly. Always the worst scenario
or
first.
I'm 1 minute late. That's the worst thing. I make my own schedule.
Dang it.
I'm going to fire myself.
That's it. I am fired. That is it. Oh gosh, that is hilarious.
So just that masking, and it's even more than masking. I feel like it's exhausting.
Yeah, it really is.
We have that on another page.
Oh, do we?
Anxiety is exhausting.
It is. It's exhausting because of that and the constant fight or flight feeling. Yeah, it's exhausting. But and then like this next thing we have, anxiety that nobody sees. That's a big reason why it's exhausting because it's happening in our brain. You can't see the racing, the panic, the manic, you know, the fear, the constant just of everything. And then us trying to smile through it and mask through it. But inside feeling like we're going to explode from just the panic and fear that we feel inside.
Yeah.
So.
And I wrote every decision, every move I make, I'm thinking of every single outcome. I weigh all the ways I could handle every single outcome.
Yes.
Is it worth it to do this? Like that is constantly going in every second because it's everything I do.
Exactly.
You know, even if I'm going to go to the living room, you know, it's like, okay, do I need to go to the living room? What if I didn't go? Do I need to grab that? It's like...
Or who's going to be in there? Am I going to be disturbing them if I go into the living room? Or, you know, exactly.
I need to go to the bathroom. I don't want to go to the bathroom, but I am going to pee myself. Oh, I didn't put a poise pad in. TMI, but you know,
things like that.
Old lady,
exactly.
perimenopause.
I understand that too.
But it's like I'm just constantly weighing everything and thinking about not just worst case scenario. Yes, worst case scenario, but every scenario.
Yeah. And I like to think like when I'm at the store and a stranger's talking to me, and even though I'm sitting there going, oh yeah, my mind is going, can he see that I'm not really paying attention because I'm trying to watch Sean at the same time as getting into everything? Like I feel like torn between the two, and I'm just so scared. I don't know. It's crazy.
And I said, doing all that mental gymnastics, and I'm like, all while looking normal.
Exactly.
We don't know what looking normal is because we like question it. I'm like, am I standing weird? Is my hand weird?
Yes.
My face, is my cheek up? Like
there will be days where at the end of the day, and I'm so exhausted and I know I didn't do much, but I have to remind myself, but mentally you literally ran a marathon today.
Exactly.
Like 2 marathons today. So because like you said, the mental gymnastics that anxiety puts your brain through, energy is energy, no matter how you're burning it. And and we talked about that already, our energy bar and everything. So it's definitely exhausting.
And right after anxiety's exhausting, I wrote trying to stay ahead of everything. And then situational as well. So we have that, like you said, that underlying always anxiety and always trying to figure things out. And then there's the situational anxiety.
Yeah, the unpredictable things that happen that don't normally happen outside of the norm that we have to deal with. Yeah.
So it's, like you said, the baseline.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming yours is too, but my baseline is so loud already.
Oh,
on edge. I haven't figured out anything that helps that. And then that's what leads to the meltdowns. One little thing. It could be not that much, but
like a shower curtain.
Or my kid says something loud, or there's a big something drops, and then
I heard a beeping forever and it won't stop, and or whatever.
Yeah, it just sends you right into that meltdown.
Yes, exactly. But anxiety is what piles up and piles up. And any emotion can do that, really. Anything emotional you can pile up. I know years ago when I had a therapist as a child, that she would talk about how anger, it's like a volcano, it just builds and builds until it explodes. And I'm like, that's exactly how anxiety is for me, because it just builds and builds and then it just explodes because I just can't hold in the magma anymore or whatever. So my mean old magma. I was like, is that the right word? Because I don't say that word very often. But,
oh my goodness. Yeah. So we've got some upcoming episodes. What do we got, Leah?
Actually, it's our last episode of this season.
Oh my goodness. Season
about routines. And that also goes well with all of these things. So it's a great one to end on. We still have a lot of other things planned. So.
Yeah. So we're taking, some summer off. We have kids. We don't want to burn out on this. So, we want to take some regroup, plan. But I'm going to be posting some mini-sodes, some random stuff here and there during the summer. I don't have a schedule. I'll probably still post on Sundays, whatever I do post. I just don't know how many. But I do always post on Patreon. So head on over there. You'll get, you'll be able to just get immersed in a bunch of random stuff I put in there. And I'm going to keep putting, because, some of it is our tangents where I cut out of the main episodes. So I'm always throwing those in there because we
have a lot of those.
Because I have episodes where I already put some in, but I still have tons from that episode. So I have all that
good.
stuff.
I'm glad we're doing so much awesome stuff.
And then we've got, adventures, or, maybe we'll go to a thrift store today and we'll have more.
The kids want to. So.
Okay, good.
Well, Saya does for sure.
I know. I was going to say
Scott.
Okay.
On the fence,
but yeah. So we call that. You guys, you know how we have to do our alliterations. So we came up with secondhand shenanigans.
Yes, I love that.
And that's where we share our thrifting, antiquing, and because we just, again, that's our coping mechanism to kind of get out of our lives. And
it's like to get away from just what you're doing at the house, and you never know what you're going to find. Right. That's the best part. It's funny. It's exciting.
Right. No matter what, we laugh. We find silly things.
Something. We always try to find the heat.
Yeah. Oh, that's what Saya calls the heat. And so now I send you them pictures. One time it was
wasn't it Taco Bell?
We're tangenting right now. No, it was a Fireball.
Fireball.
Yeah,
that's what
it was a men's onesie, but it wasn't a pajama onesie. It was you were supposed to wear it like a sweatsuit onesie. It was crazy. So I'm like, Oh, yeah. I had taken a picture just to send to Lucas, and I'm like, wait, that's the heat. I got to send it.
Yes. Well, it was really funny because Ryan really likes onesies. Yeah. And so I was like, there you go. Yeah, because he used to have this pair of swimming shorts that were Fireball shorts. Even though we don't drink Fireball like that, but it was just funny because I'm like, you already have the shorts, you know? Though I didn't bring them with me. So I was like, but still.
One of the other ones that was so funny, there was this really nice sweatshirt and it said Aldi over, the store Aldi.
And it was so nice. And you couldn't tell it said Aldi till you get up close. And then you're like, oh, that's a grocery store shirt.
And we were both,
but I was like, second really thinking, like, I might wear that.
I'm like, I really like it was a well-made like.
And I'm not a big fan of Aldi. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm not either,
I don't go there, but I wish I would. But I've gone there a couple times and just not been impressed.
Yeah,
so.
It's hard because if you go there, there's great stuff.
Well, it's tiny. Yeah, it's tiny. You don't.
But you have to go
It's another thing
else.
where there's etiquette, where I feel like I don't know the rules well enough to
put
understand what to do. Yeah, there's just so much.
Got to bring your own.
And then every time I go in, there's 500 people standing in front of the thing I need to stand in front of. So I'm like, ugh. But that happens at every store, I guess. So.
Oh, look at us tangenting.
Yep, here we go.
We'll see what stays in.
Giving myself anxiety talking about it right now.
So that was our upcoming episodes. I guess it's time.
Awesome. Well, I guess I'll start because we were already talking about my smoking, and this is a story about my smoking.
All right,
so here we go. I smoke outside, obviously, since I have children, and I smoke in the back. They have 2 smoking areas where I live, and there's one particular one I like because it's right by the garbage, so I can just take the garbage out at the same time, multitask for the win. And so I'll go out there and I smoke. But lately, there's been more and more people, just because where I live, people come in, they come out. There's new people all the time. Right now, there's like a group of people that I've met, each one, individually at different times, but they all smoke as well, whether it's cigarettes or marijuana or both. And so I'll go out there and chat. But recently, and I know anybody that smokes marijuana knows the term puff, puff, pass, where you share it. The thing is, Ryan does not want me to share, pipes or things like that because we don't know what diseases they have or anything like that. But it's so hard for me. And so I did.
Because that's a culture.
Yeah. And so everybody does it. And so they'll pass to you. They expect you to pass to them, and I'm out here just trying to smoke my little bit. And I don't want to be an asshole, because I would love to share with people if they want to. I don't want to be taken advantage of, but I don't mind sharing. I'm great at sharing. I actually get joy from sharing with people, but
I love that. I'm great at sharing.
Yeah, I really am. My kids are not, but you'd think they would be. You'd think they'd learn from example, but no, they just take my stuff now. That's all. And they know I'll be happy about it. But anyways, so the biggest thing too is Ryan does not want me to do it, and so the other day I still did it. Somebody had a vape and they're like, you want to try this vape? And I just instinctively, it's like I don't even think sometimes, and I just did it. And then because that person let me smoke, in the future, if I have it, it would be really rude to not, reciprocate if he didn't have it and I had it and he goes, hey, can I have a hit of that? I would not be able to say no. Even now, I know I would not be. But it's like this thing now where I'm just scared to go outside because I want somebody out there because I don't mind talking with somebody, but at the same time, I'm scared they're going to want to share and I can't. The germ thing, it's just too, I can't risk it. I just can't. No. And so, but it's so hard because I'm a sharer and I do like to share. And I did grow up in the culture where puff, puff, pass. You always share, stoners are notoriously great at sharing their stuff to smoke. They want you to feel as happy as they're feeling, Well,
that's what's funny. You say that, I remember back in college, and I never have smoked. I tried a couple times, but disasters. But
oh yeah,
they always say, the adults always say peer pressure or whatever. Every time I was in a big group or even a small group, and we were actually in a circle, chatting because everybody had small apartments and and I would just pass it to the next person, and no one shamed me for not doing it.
See, that's nice.
But that, that was, college and stuff. But
in my mind, I would be they're probably thinking something.
Yeah,
in my mind, I would have been thinking all these things, even though nobody would care.
Mostly I was like, how do I hold it?
Yes, right. All right, off of that, what's your story?
Man, we're talking to today. All right. So this
you had to remind yourself for a second. I always do that.
Well, we were kind of talking about always on the edge. Well, I've had a rough couple weeks. It's so hard because I'm always doing terrible. But then there's moments where I guess it's even more terrible.
Right? And you're like, how is that even possible?
How is that possible? I know, it's so weird. But it was Monday morning. I go to work. I'm always the first one there because, again, I set my schedule. So then I can be out, and get Sophie, and it's nice to go because the buses come like 3:20 or something. Well, they're already like coming when I leave. So if I would have to wait till like 3:40 because the kids are getting out and all that stuff. Anyways.
Okay.
I always have to explain way more.
No.
But all right, so I got in and I was already like, I could feel tears in my eyes. I'm trying to just calm down, and so I open up my computer and, start looking at my emails, and I'm pinning the stuff I have to do and getting rid of the stuff I don't need to do. And so I read this one email so this is someone, she does something in another part that kind of, us secretaries in SPED, sometimes she has to ask us to fix a error, We don't mind it, but sometimes she's just like she's a very no nonsense, straight to it, got to get everything done. So that comes off as like you're doing something wrong, And so it does frustrate us sometimes. But also, it's hard, and this is with everything we've talked about. I do this all the time. So you're sending me one error, And so, but I do it right most of the time. So if you're making a big deal
out of one tiny little
all these screenshots with like arrows and written,
God.
and I'm like, it's like a football player or something, And so
makes you want to tackle her, right?
And so, that's the thing is, it's annoying a little bit here and there, but it's not a big deal. But she wrote all this stuff, and then the very last thing she wrote on the email, I don't know if I told you this. I might have, though.
Oh, no, you did. You did.
Yeah.
Yep.
So the very last thing she wrote was, I know you hate me.
Like, what? For me, that's like, great.
Bursted out crying.
Oh, yeah.
And I cried for hours. And,
like, why would you think that? I think that.
I know. I sat through a whole meeting, like, with a tissue by my eyes, like, have my glasses on. So it kind of, like, she's just matter of fact and, very. So I don't know. It could have just been kind of a nod to, like, I know you hate this. But.
Yeah, like a jokey way or something.
She just said it to me, and
And I would notice that too.
I know.
I would notice if it was only to me. I mean,
yeah. I mean, and one person was on it, like the secretary for the whole SPED department, but it was towards me. She just was copied on it. She may have meant it just light, but she didn't do any. She didn't even say thanks at the end or put her name at the end. It was just that, And I know other people.
Wow, what a way to end it!
I know, it was just
not even a sincerely. Dang.
No, it was just. I know you hate me. No smiley face, no wink, no thanks. Even just like thanks and then your name. But the fact that stuff wasn't there was like, whoa,
oh, no.
So I was crying.
I would have been upset too.
And, everybody's like, oh, don't cry over work and don't, like they were being really nice. And I'm like, it really didn't have that much to do with that. It just, I was already there and it just pushed me.
You're like, it's been a heck of a 2 weeks just now. Yeah, so like that on top of that, yeah. Exactly.
It was a lot.
You can only hold back tears for so long,
I know.
and then they just come out.
There's again, we were talking about that, just trying to look normal, and it's like so much energy and exhausting.
And that gives you more anxiety because you don't want people to notice that you're upset.
Yeah.
Like sometimes I want people to know, like my family and stuff, but there's other times where I just don't want them to know I'm upset.
Right. I don't, especially with this podcast where I know people might hear it, and I'm like, I don't want people to think I can't do my job because I still did my job.
Yeah.
But,
exactly.
But it was kind of funny. After that meeting, I was in my office and I was like, we were out of tissues in our office. So I was going out and I was coming out my door because my office is weird. There's a big room that's like where the resource room where if students need help, they come in. And so I have to go into the resource room and then my office is in the back corner.
Oh.
So I was coming out and then there was a special ed teacher coming in to ask me a question and we almost ran into each other, but I had tears running down. She's like, oh my God, KJ, are you okay?
Oh,
I'm
no.
like, yes, I'm just having a rough morning. And I'm like, I'm fine. There's nothing. And I kept saying, it's nothing specific. It's just, I feel this way.
Well, and nothing makes me cry more than somebody going, are you okay? And then I'm like, if I was really holding it in, and I'm not holding it in anymore. Like just asking that question is like, oh my gosh.
It's funny. But I always say it's funny. Like Lucas keeps telling me how much I say that. Yeah.
I always say it's crazy. So because it is funny and crazy at the same time.
Well,
always.
you got to find the, and I guess it's funny is like, this is weird. This is, something, different that happened, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. Well, you've just listened to a lot of us talk, so we want to hear from you.
Yes. No, we could keep talking all day, but we definitely want to hear from you.
But if you want to talk to us or you want to see more of us, you can find us on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, and it's all at Coping Chaos Podcast. And then our email is the same, copingchaospodcast@gmail.com.
Exactly. And join us on our Patreon page. Yeah. We always say this. We got the free tier for chatting. We've got a $3 tier. You can support us. We got a $6 tier with all the good stuff. So
all the
come on. Yeah, all the good stuff, the meats.
Yeah, and then another way to help, review wherever you stream.
Yes, give us those 5 stars.
Yeah, and again, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, those help us the best, but everywhere, do it everywhere.
Yes, please, please. Well, all right. Well, that was good.
I love it.
Yeah, I love it. And I feel like we might come back to anxiety again,
always,
especially because I feel like eventually I'd love to do one that's also on depression because those go so well together too. So
yeah. And since we're taking a break, please message us. I'm not going to abandon anything. It's just we're taking time to plan. So let us know what you want to hear. I really want it.
Yeah. If there's any topics that you guys are thinking of that are like, oh, you haven't said anything much about that, or something we kind of touched on that you want us to go on, heck yeah, I'll talk your ear off about anything. Just let me know what it is we're talking about.
Yeah, and we have guests that want to come on. I don't know, not all of them might not be in season 2, but we have subjects like addiction. We have subjects like being queer and trans, mental health. And then there's other like conditions that are more rare that I don't even know of that my friend is like, I'd love to come on and talk about that.
Would be awesome.
I don't know when or where, but those are things that we're brewing,
Yeah, things to look forward to in the future, the unannounced future. So.
Yeah, exactly. So the biggest thing we want everyone to know, of course, is that you're not alone in this. We want this to be a safe space to share our experiences as a community.
Exactly. And remember, we love you guys. Thank you for listening to this episode of Coping Chaos. And as always, we will see you on the next episode. Bye.
Bye-bye. Coping Chaos is hosted and produced by KJ Servey and Leah Williams. Audio mixed and edited by KJ Servey. Our theme song is by Lucas Servey and Leah Williams. Artwork is created by Lucas Servey. You can now follow Coping Chaos on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok at Coping Chaos Podcast. We have also started a Patreon at Coping Chaos Podcast, where you can help support us and have access to exclusive content. Please feel free to rate and review wherever you stream. Send us your questions, stories, and Chaos Corner moments to copingchaospodcast@gmail.com.